Hello, good morning everyone. I hope you have two tables with you which already I have given to you. Now we are going to the practical question of our accounting of our overhead. Now first one, in Ganesh Limited there are four departments A, B and C. Production department. See, this three department is a production department. A, B and C are the production department and D, one is a service department. Total four department. Detail of the expense during a month. It means a month expense is given over here. You have to distribute such expense into four divisions, that is ABC manufacturing department and D service department. So first one is indirect expense. The amount of indirect expense is rupees 2000. So we have to remember that the basis of indirect expense, the basis of indirect expense, we have to find it out from this table. So here we have in the table space occupied, number of workers, value of plant, direct labor and actual power consumption. These 4 or 5 are the bases through which we have to divide our expense. So from the indirect expense, from the basis table, we are taking direct labor as a base for such amount. So total amount of indirect expense is rupees 2000 and base ratio, that is 8:6:4:2. We can also down it 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we have to divide this 4 department, department A, department B, department C, and one is a service department. So first one is indirect expense. The base for indirect expense is direct labor and the ratio of direct labor is 4:3:2:1. We have to divide 2000 in this ratio 4:3:1. So the amount of department A, the expense of indirect expense in the proportion of 4 is rupees 800. Same way in the proportion 3 is rupees 600. Same way in the proportion C for 2 is rupees 400 and for the department D rupees 200. Now next one is, first one is indirect expense, then rent 4400, or we may say that 4400. The base for such expense we have to find out from this table. Value of plant is considered as a base for rent. So we are calculating ratio or proportion on this basis: 24, 18, 12,000 and 6,000. We can down it 1, 2, 3 and 4. So again, amount of rupees 4400 is divided in this ratio 4:3:2:1, 2000, 1200, 800 and 400 in the department D, that is service department. Now next one is plant repair. Plant repair 2400. The basis of plant repair sorry, the basis of plant repair is again plant value. Sorry. The rent 4400 would be divided in the form of square space occupied. So the ratio of space occupied is 5:3:1. Here we have write it down space occupied. So on the base of space occupied, the ratio of 5:3:1 divided 2000, 1200, 800 and 400. Then plant and repairs. The amount of plant and repairs is 2400. Will be divided among the 4 department in the ratio of 24, 18, 12 and 6. So that is 4:3:1. Value of plant 960, 720, 480 and 240. And next one is depreciation. The amount of depreciation is 1800. Again depreciation, the base of depreciation would be again value of plant. So the depreciation, the basis of value of plant 4:3:1, the amount of 1800 would be divided among this ratio 4:3:1, 720, 540, 360 and 180. Now supervision charges, the amount of supervision charges 6,000 and base of distribution of such expense is nothing but a yes, number of workers on the basis of supervision charges would be divided on the basis of direct labor. So again the ratio of direct labor would be 6,432. We can also down so the 2,400, 1,600, 1,200 and 800, the amount of supervision charges would be divided in the ratio of direct labor. Now power, that is 1,800, the amount of power would be divided in actual power. So we can say that the total is 1,800 and the amount of such is also 1,800. So we can directly put it down 800, 400, 400 and 200. You may divide 1,800 in the ratio of 4:2:1, 4:2:1, right? Then yes, amount is over. Now we can also see in this table if any direct expense is given in such departments, so we can write it down in the total of that particular column. Right. Apportionment of the above expense to the department on appropriate basis. We have already divided it into appropriate basis, so making the total, the answer would be 780, 5060, 3640 and 4020. So our first quite easy question is over. Now the second one, question number second. Shiva Limited has again 4 department. AMI are the manufacturing department. It means in the company Shiva Limited is having 3 manufacturing department and N is a service department. Half yearly expense are as under. So the expense is given over here is 6 months, and previous question the expense was of 1 month. Sorry, here detail related to the department are as under. So we can find the basis, or we may say that appropriate base, from this table. Indirect expense, first one is plant depreciation. Plant depreciation is given over here 6,000. So we can find it out the base from this table. On the basis of plant value, we can write it down the allocation of such expense to the department AMI and department service department N. So we have to calculate this ratio from 75, 25 and 20. We can also down it. Plant depreciation, the amount of total depreciation is rupees 6,000, 3750, 1250 and 1000. Here the amount of plant depreciation in the service department N is not given. It means that in the service department any plant and machinery is not used. So we cannot calculate the depreciation under the service department N. Clear? Next one is plant repairs, 1200. Again same value of plant. Ratio is 15:4. The amount 1200 would be divided in this ratio, 750, 250 and 200. Again in the department N, plant or machinery is not there, so we cannot distribute the expense of plant and machinery, or we may say that plant repairs, to the department N. Next, power. The amount of power is 1500. So on the basis we can find out the base for power. Yes, HP. HP means horsepower. Horsepower. So we have to divide 3:2 nil. It means that power used by department A and M only. In the department I, power will not be used. In the department N, power will not be used. So we have to divide the amount of power in these two departments, that is A and M. the power on the basis of horsepower, this 3:2, the amount of power is 1500 divided into 3:2, it means 900 and 600. That nil in the department I and service department N. Now supervision, the amount of supervision is 4400. So on the basis of this we can find out on the basis of which ratio we are distributing the expense of supervisor. It is number of workers, 37:27:29:70. Yes, this is the ratio. Supervision charges, the amount of supervision charges is 4400 divided into the ratio of number of workers, that is 1480, 1080, 1160 and 680. It means that here 4 department expense of supervision is divided into 4 departments, which means that the service of supervision, or we may say that expense of supervision is divided in these 3 manufacturing department and 1 service department. Right. Next, rent and taxes. Again, the rent and taxes, either it would be divided in the ratio of space occupied or area in square meter. Yes, here is given area in square meter. The ratio of area in square meter 6933. We have to divide area in square meter 6. We are given in the rent down 2311. We can also down it 2311. So the amount of rent and taxes is 6300. Again divided in this square area meter 6933. It means 2311, 1800, 2700, 900 and again 900. Now next one is welfare expense. The amount of welfare expense is 4950. So the basis of distribution of such expense, again here welfare expense means number of workers, 37, 27, 29 and 17. In the ratio, the amount of welfare expense 4950 would be distributed among these 4 departments, again in the ratio of number of workers, 1665, 1215, 1305 and 765. These are the distribution of welfare expense. Now the next one is lighting. The amount of lighting is 1050. The 1050 is divided among these 4 departments in the ratio of, again, lighting number of light point. Here the number of lighting point is given, so we can divide lighting expense in this ratio. If number of light point is not given, mind you well, if number of light point is not given, then we have to divide such expense in the ratio of horsepower. In next question it may not be given in the question, so we have divide it into horsepower, but here number of lighting point is given, so we have to consider number of lighting point, because lighting is given in the question, so we can divide into a lighting point. 1050 would be divided in the ratio of 15, 8, 7 and 5. So 450, 240, 210 and 150 is the answer, or we may say the distribution of lighting expense. The next one is canteen charges. The amount of canteen charges is 5500. It means 5500. Again, the ratio or basis of distribution would be taken from canteen charges is again on the basis of labor, or we may say that number of workers, so we can divide it into number of workers 37, 27, 29 and 17. So 1850, 1350, 1450 and 850 would be the distribution of canteen expense. Now any amount is given in this question, so we have to take into the total. Yes, not given. If any one amount is remaining in the question, then we have to calculate it. No. So we have to make the total of that particular column, and it would be the answer. See, it's quite simple questions. If you have asked in the examination, then for example, out of this you have distributed some in the wrong ratio, or we may say the wrong base, the answer will not be come. Now the next one is third one. Again, I will not calculate, only detect the information. There are 4 departments, that is A, B, C. In a factory, prepare a statement showing distribution of overhead expense in given below. Here, any clarification regarding service department and manufacturing department is not given, so we need not to worry about this. First one, the overhead expense is given, so we have to find basis from this table. First one is light. So the light is, you all know that from the table we have to find it. If lighting point is given, then we have to distribute it among the lighting point ratio. If lighting point is not given, then we have to distribute it among it in horsepower. So the lighting point over here is given, so we have to divide light expense ₹500 in the ratio of 3322. Quite simple. So again 500, 150, 150, 100 and 100. It's quite easy. I only detecting the basis you have to calculate. Next, depreciation. The amount of depreciation is 1000, and on the basis of cost of plant you have to distribute in the ratio of 2413. Amount of depreciation 1000 would be divided among the all the 4 department A, B and A, B, C, D in the ratio of 2413. Next, employees welfare expense. The amount of employee welfare expense is 300. On the basis of number of employee, we have to divide such expense, that is 300, in the ratio of number of employees 15, 10, 15, 10, right? It means 3232. So we have to divide employee welfare expense 300 in the ratio of 3232. Next, manager's salary. The amount of manager's salary is ₹3000. We have to find out the basis from this given table. So we can say that proportion of time spent by manager. The ratio of proportion of time spent by manager is already given in the question. You have to distribute such manager expense 3000 in the ratio of 2111, right? Next, power. The amount of power will be 2000. So we have to find the basis, that is HP. I already told you, horsepower. So 3412 are the distribution basis ratio of power. You have to divide ₹2000 in the ratio of 3, 4, 1 and 2. Now the next one is rent and taxes. The amount of rent and taxes is 2500. Again, rent and taxes would be divided among these 4 departments in the ratio of cost of plant, that is 2413. We have to divide amount of 2500 in the ratio of 2413. Now the next one is miscellaneous expense. Here the amount of miscellaneous expense is ₹5000. See, now the confusion is over here. On which basis we have to divide miscellaneous expense. So it quite confusing one. Space occupied, we cannot divide it in the ratio of space occupied miscellaneous expense. Number of lighting point also we cannot divide. Number of employees we can also not divide. Horsepower we cannot divide. Cost of plant we cannot divide. Time spent by manager we cannot divide. But on the basis of direct expense, or we may say the direct labor, we can distribute miscellaneous expense. Mind you well, if miscellaneous expense is given and clarification of distribution of miscellaneous expense is not given, you can divide it with direct labor or direct expense. right? If direct expense is given, then you have to divide in the ratio of direct expense. If direct expense is not given, you can divide in the ratio of direct labor. 3, 4, 2, 1. So we have to divide 5,000 in the ratio of 3, 4, 2, 1, right? So it's quite simple. You make a total of this particular column and the answer is quite simple. You have to make a total of this column and answer is quite simple. Now, thank you everyone. I will give you the next 2 to 3 questions in the homework, right? Thank you.